can do it.
Oh, lost
Look
it.
at that. I planned that the whole time.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Michael with RC Crawling. Today, finally, we are going to be taking a look at Broncochu. We've got some new parts on here, new to me. I want to give a big shout out to Meus. They sent some V2 isokinetics, so we are going to review the V2 isokinetic axles as part of this video. Also got a new to me servo, which is very popular, so a lot of you have probably used it. And we're just going to talk about the setup on this truck. I think it is the most capable truck that I have built. This is the same chassis that I ran on my previous Bronco. It is the Meus LCG chassis kit. So we've got a mostly Meus build here right now. Let's jump into it, take a closer look at Broncochu, what we've got underneath the body, and then we will, of course, go run it on the rocks. Let's take a closer look at Broncochu. On the outside, the body I purchased from Tilted Tomsky. You can find him on Instagram. I'll put a link in the description. He built and painted the body, did all the cutting, installed Pikachu as the driver, and I expanded on his idea just a little bit. I added the white highlights to the black cartoon effects, and then I also added the electric sparks around Pikachu. Wheel faces are thanks to Milk Tea RC. Huge shout out, Milk Tea. Thank you for designing these and getting these up on Etsy within about a week of me asking if it was possible. So appreciate that very much. Axles are the Meus V2 isokinetic axles. Thank you very much, Meus, for sending these axles for review. I'm a big fan of your products in general and axles specifically, and these are the first V2 axles that I've got. Underneath, you can see we've got double bent rear links. These are Yep Spec bent rear links. I bent these to kind of align with the drive shaft to get some extra clearance underneath the chassis and skid plate. The tires, you've seen in previous videos, modified Injora XHX pins running slime ball inserts. And of course, to run the Milk Tea wheel faces, we're running Injora module wheels. Underneath the body, we've got the Meus LCG chassis kit. It came with the links, skid, chassis rails, magnet mounts, and these sliders, and of course the drive shafts. We've got an Injora transmission, Injora MBL32 ESC, paired with the Injora Gold Viper and running 3S on this thing. I've tried it on 2S and 3S and found that, like Injora says, the 3S is way better for slow crawl and wheel speed. Up front, PTK servo. This is new to me, but very popular in the crawling community. It's about 20 bucks and will accept up to 8.4 volts. Unfortunately, right now we're running, I think, 6 volts on the MBL32. So, need to up the voltage from the ESC to the servo to get full potential out of this servo. Let me go ahead and plug it in and turn it on the desktop just to get an idea of the wheel speed and slow crawl. And also, of course, Injora rope lights. That is paired with the Injora light controller. So we've got solid on, flashing, and a slow blink. And then we can turn it off. So with the Fat Viper, you can get very, very good, amazing slow crawl on 3S. It's a little bit of a hitch out of that bottom range, but not too bad. I have not tuned this at all, so I could get the tuning card out and hook it up to the laptop and change the settings, try to get rid of that little stutter there. A very good slow crawl paired with nice and fast. Let me get this out of the way. Plenty of wheel speed. So this thing will do some damage if you're not careful with it. Nice servo, very good steering angle. I've got this limited from full steering angle so I don't hit my sliders. I need to trim those a little bit and then I can turn my dual rate up. There's the build overview of the Bronco. Last thing to talk about are the shocks. Injora 40 millimeter big bore shocks running 40 weight oil, no springs on the back, and the front actually has internal suck down springs. So the spring I installed underneath the piston, so the spring wants to push that piston up, which causes the shocks to sit fully slammed, or I suppose droop, as we would say in the RC world. So helps act as a limiting strap on climbs, keeps that body down, keeps the axles sucked up, or rather the body sucked down near the axles. Looking at the Meus axles underneath, we have this round pumpkin instead of, let's take a look at the previous version. This does have a slider on it, front and rear, so this is not part of the axle, but diamond-shaped diff cover, diff housing. I think I might like the diamond shape better for getting over obstacles. You can see where it slid over the rocks. That purple anodizing is coming off a little bit. These axles started off white. I dyed them yellow. If you would like to learn how to do that, 24 Yep has a good video. I'll link that in the description. I followed his directions and it worked very well. So my only complaint about the V2s, you can see where I catch on rocks, a little bit of the yellow dye has been scraped off. That's my only complaint. Otherwise, these are better in every way. They look more scale. The screws on the knuckles in the front are recessed a little better compared to the V1s. This was a big sticking point. That screw sticks out so far and you catch that rather easily. So I appreciate the thoughtfulness put into attaching these knuckles. That screw is recessed a little better, or not recessed at all. It sinks down a little bit better. Stick protrudes less. Otherwise, these axles are very similar to the V1s. They come with the same 14% overdrive in the front, and they supply a stock gear, which I've put in the rear to get a 14% overdrive. I will probably in the future switch to an 11% underdrive in the rear to get about 25% difference. That's what I run in my Beetle and my Power Wagon, which both have the Meus axles. So again, thank you Meus for sending these wonderful axles, great scale look, and performance to match it. Let's go ahead and put it on the 4-corner scale and the setup table, get some numbers, and then we will go hit the rocks. Let's take a look at the sight hill on the setup table first. We're at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, I'd say 52 on the side hill. And now we'll take a look at the vertical on the setup table. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, about 59 on the vertical. And lastly, let's go ahead and throw Broncochu on the 4-corner scale. Of course, we've got the battery installed for our tests. And we are looking at 5743 with a total of 507. So pretty well dialed in, bit heavier on the battery side, which we can adjust with a little bit of tungsten putty or tungsten weights added to maybe the left slider to get perfect left-right balance, but not too bad. We are back at the rock, and we're going to take the hardline approach with Broncochu and see how we can do. Tire placement is key for the hardline approach. Making up through the gatekeeper, no problem. Using that steering angle, which I did fix before coming out to the rock. Make this sharp turn up to the top. Let's take a little bit of a crazy line here. Right here is my only complaint about the V2 Meus axles. That round diff catches, but we're able to push over it. And made it to the top. Let's reset, crawl the backside with the very steep off-camber climb. Just gotta set our tire down into that notch so we don't fall over. And made it easily. Had nowhere to go but showing off our clearance there. Broncochu did good. It snowed last weekend and it's been cold. We're right next to the rock. We might as well try to climb this, see how we do. Struggling to find grip. The snow is melting and getting soft. Take a bypass there. Well, back where we started. We're out at a new crawling spot with Broncochu, as this is the only place I've found with lines hard enough. Let's go ahead and just show off what Broncochu can do. This is about the hardest. Tight turn around to the summit and then able to get down. We're going to attempt this climb. Of course, the camera never really does the angle justice. Piece of cake. Not the cleanest line, but made that steep V-notch. Nice. Made it through sideways. Thank you for watching. I really enjoyed making this video and building Broncochu. I appreciate everyone that played a part in making this build happen. Meus, thank you for the V2 isokinetic axles. I appreciate that very much. Tilted Tomsky, thank you for selling me the body after dropping a comment on not your YouTube video. Very cool body. I appreciate it. Milk TRC, thank you again for getting the Pokeball wheel faces made. This is just a fun truck to drive. Had a little whoopsie with the rope lights, so got another set coming to get that fixed. What would you do to improve the performance of this thing? Drop it in the notes, or comments rather. How could this be better? Do you see something obvious that I'm missing? So I appreciate everyone watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I will catch you again soon in the next video.